my wife and I went to a Korean barbecue joint here in Austin. Soul Jew, by the way. Shout out to Soul Jew. And I was talking to the owner because I was wearing my Tesla jacket. He's like, dude, the Tesla jacket, huh? I'm like, yeah, I used to, work, blah, blah, blah. He's like, dude, I gotta tell you, I fucking hate your boss, but I fucking love my 2 Model Ys. I'm like, cool. All right. That's a good signal. I'll take that. But it's like, and I didn't have a long form conversation, as to why he hated him. But I wonder how much of that hate just comes from, maybe there's a valid thing Elon did that made him really upset. Maybe there was some division, something he said that was divisive on Twitter, or how much of it is from a mainstream media publication that he's listening to that is just bashing Elon. A lot of the left-leaning, very, very left-leaning publications are going to be very anti-Elon because he's, billionaire evil person who doesn't know what he's doing on Twitter and is trying to limit everyone's speech, right? So it's just a fascinating thing. But then what it really comes down to is like when you actually talk to some folks, I think there's a separation between Elon, the individual, and the products that the companies that he's built are starting to take on. Like they have a life of their own. And I think a lot of people in our community put those two things together because the guy who created them is very responsible for that. But I think we're at a point in time now where I think Tesla, the product, stands on its own, and you have perceived crazy person running the company for folks that haven't been following the story. And as deeply as we have, let's say, and they've maybe formed some biases, which again they have every right to do. But it's just fascinating to watch how that's sort of diverging. Whereas before, I don't think that may have been the case. That's a dynamic I'm noticing in this day and age as well, which is like it's really, really interesting to like sort of think through, because like I encourage everybody in this comment section, if you ever go out randomly and talk to random people, say you go out to a bar or whatever, or you're like shopping and you bumped into somebody and you're talking, so like, hey, what do you think of this Elon Musk thing? Like, have you been following this Twitter thing? And like 80% of the people are like, I don't have time. I don't have time. He sounds like a crazy person. You know the Tesla cars? Oh yeah, they're pretty cool. They're pretty cool, man. They're pretty cool. Like that's the kind of conversation that like sort of comes out of those. I don't know if you're experiencing the same thing, but
oh my god,
yeah, it's just.
I mean, I'm in Seattle, so I'm honestly thinking about moving from Seattle because it's so bad. Like,
really?
Yeah, like I don't know. It's just kind of like a whole like, and it's interesting. I'm very curious if Elon, if like we're in uncharted territory with such a big figure leading such a big company, like at what, like will it, like I think at some level it's affected the brand, where people are like Tesla's a little bit, I would say Tesla's 37% douchier than it should be because it's associated with Elon Musk. Like I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling that. I'm feeling like I thought it was just like, dude, I had a cool electric car, but now it's like Tesla, Elon, like it's douchey. It's like, okay, like that's kind of a buzzkill. And then like you ask,
is that the vibe you're getting in Seattle when you're like driving around?
Dude, Seattle, they're like, I would literally take any other electric car than a Tesla because like Elon Musk is running it, blah, blah, blah. And like, I don't know, like I'm a single guy, like I go on the dating apps, right? Like I'm going on first dates with girls. They ask me what I do. Like I kind of just had to like stop telling the truth, honestly, because it just can't turn into such a like, just like they're like Elon Musk, like literally it feels like everyone in Seattle's been brainwashed with this like entrepreneurship is bad, Elon Musk is an evil, horrible person, yet I am super passionate about climate change. So like I got into Tesla because I was so passionate about climate change and there was no hope for electric cars, and then we did it, and now electric cars are the future. And then yet the person who did that like is hated by the people who say they love electric cars, and I'm just face to face with this like massive like dichotomy every single day. And then you dive into like I've had a bunch of conversations. I'm like, well, like okay, like they're like, what do you think? I'm like, honestly, like he's not that bad. Like I think he's fine. Like I think he's misunderstood. Like I think he's out here grinding, trying. Like fuck, I support it. Like, and I'm not gonna like hate on somebody because the New York Times tells me to. Like I'm over that. But then other people, it's like, well, why do you hate him? It's like it's so hard to. They can't say why. If you ask them why, it's like, well, he's an asshole. He did the, it's unions. It's, he's an emerald mine. He didn't even start to, it's just one fucking bullshit after the next. And it's like, you actually don't know why you hate someone. What is the status quo of a very successful person? I just hate them, even though I don't know them. That's like where we're getting as humans. And I think, frankly, it's a symptom of like the wealth gap and the divide of people being in their houses, depressed, having jobs they don't like, and then blaming the rich people. And that's what happens in history. And then you have revolution. I don't want to say we're going to revolution, but I'd say we're closer than not. And that's the sentiment I feel, where it's, And it's like, I don't know. It's personally something that really bothers me because I feel like it's like, fuck, like I worked so hard to start my company. Like I invested in Tesla. Nobody gave a fuck. Nobody like helped me. And I thought it was such a dope, like, movement to be a part of. And I was like so inspired and kind of felt like I would like meet all these people who were so happy and like about that movement being created and like green energy like flourishing. And I feel like I've seen like no, like the people within Tesla are kind of happy about it, but the people outside of Tesla like don't get what's happened and don't appreciate it and don't care. And like that's kind of like broken my heart. Is it's like, okay, like at the end of the day, like I feel like we won, like I won because my Tesla investment went way up and the company succeeded. So it's like on against David Einhorn and like Bill Ackman, all these and Jim Chanos and all these people I thought were idiot billionaires. It's like, fuck you. Like I got the win, baby. Like I'm making guap. You're not. Like nobody cares about you. But then it's like, that's just such a dumb victory lap versus like humanity's saved. And nobody gives a fuck about like nobody in Seattle's like hyped. Like, dude, like, I don't know. Maybe this is just like my own on one thing of just like, bro, like we should be fucking supporting Tesla. We should be like hyping up like people who buy Teslas because they're supporting this dope movement. Like, why is that? Why is our society so anti the solution?
Yeah,
it's killing me, honestly. Like,
yeah, I've been battling with that for a little while myself, to be completely honest. I think a lot of people that have been following the company and the leader and Elon for as long as they have, there is a tone shift for sure, towards sort of his personal brand, let's call it, right? There's the Elon Musk personal brand. Whereas, when you and I started following the company, green tech guy, super aspirational, what a great guy, super hard worker, a billionaire, but nobody really cares about that at that point. He's building this incredible company that's going to save the planet. He sounds amazing. He has a lot of charm, and it's very easy to like, he has a terrible public speaking skills, which makes it even more endearing that he's up there talking, and really pushing through and really trying his best. And now like it's he's talked about attack vectors, right? It's just so easy. It's so easy for him to become a target now. And then if he makes actions or he does things that doesn't help him in that, say, group of people that view him negatively, it's just going to make him look way worse, right? It's going to make him look way worse. And that sucks. That sucks. As somebody that do I look up to Elon? Of course. He's aspirational for me. I wouldn't be making this freaking YouTube channel if it wasn't aspirational in some way. Like I really respect his work ethic. Is he perfect? No. But does he try to do good? I think so. But I do think that there's also and what I'm starting to live with now, or like I'm starting to really understand around the Tesla brand as an investor, is that I think the dynamic for Tesla is really just going to shift away from, unfortunately or fortunately, from beautiful mission. It's going to help humanity long term, to it's an incredible car that has the lowest cost per mile and it drives itself, so it gives me a lot of time. And yeah, the leader is a douche, but I can't not use the product, which is very similar to, say, an Amazon dynamic, where I bet you, how many people in Seattle love Jeff Bezos? My gut tells me probably the same number of people that love Elon, right? But how many of those people use next day delivery? How many of those people use Amazon on a daily basis? How many of those people never leave their house and they get literally everything online? How many of those people have Apple phones that's using, labor that's not unionized in China? Okay, like this is, to me, this is just, it seems to be a natural evolution of a company in this day and age. And is it unfortunate that a percentage of the population doesn't maybe, I don't know. It's their choice. In the end, it's their choice. Like I'm not going to try to go out there and try to change people's minds. They're welcome to feel however they want. But it's a dynamic change. And I think for Tesla investors, I think it's an important one to keep in mind, because it could feel like a signal. But to me, I really believe it's noise. It's just the natural evolution of a company. That's how I think about it. I don't know if that's sort of added anything to sort of how you're thinking about it, but it's weird. And it's fascinating, and it's such a sign of our time,
Very uncharted territories.